All right, guys, so in this next video, we're just gonna basically make the cable really fast, and then the rest I'll show you basically the materials, because from here on out is basically tweaking the materials to get the materials to look, really good, or basically look not super CG and perfect and clean, dirtying them up, making surface imperfections, that type of thing, to really elevates it up to the next level. So let's quickly jump in. I'm gonna show you guys how I made this cable. Now there are two ways. I'm gonna show you the original way, and then I do have an add-on that I use, which is absolutely fantastic for doing cables and stuff like that. So what we're quickly going to do is here, I'm gonna press Shift A, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and go into curves, drop in a path here, and then while the menu set open here, I like to just go ahead and start working on it right here. So I'm gonna go rotation on my X. I'm gonna go 90 on the X. And then location, I'm gonna go ahead and drag it on the X, just getting this into position to the back of the keyboard. And then I'm gonna go Y, just because we already have the menu open and it's right there. So it's just, why not, right? Okay, boom, I've got that pretty much in the area that I want. And then Z, let's go ahead and Z location, kind of just drag it up there, press Control to here 3 so I can see what's happening. And that is roughly in the area that I want it at, right? Boom. So then what I come in here and do is we can go ahead and hide that now. Come down to controls for that right here, the little, what is this called? To the data points. And then I scroll down to bevel and then depth, and just kind of increase the bevel depth, however thick you want it to be, right? So that's about as thick as I want it to be. I'm gonna go GY, get it in position right there at the edge, tab into edit mode, and now you can take your points and just go ahead and, for example, we jump into the side one. I'm gonna press G and just pull this down so it's touching, like boom, like that. And then you see it's kind of stretching a lot, right? So we could just go ahead and subdivide it, right click and go subdivide, or matter of fact, let me see, G, and just move this over a little bit. And then we come in, it's like a pain to really maneuver these guys here. And that's why I like to use this add-on, which I'm going to show you after this. Let me come in here. I think I click on this, press right click, subdivide. There we go. Now we put a point in between. Take this point, GZ it up. So it's kind of like sitting there like that. It's sitting in there. Then I want to rotate this here. Click on this point here. Matter of fact, I want to take all of these points here, and I'm going to just rotate it, something like that. G, and basically there it is. We're just basically going to, you can use proportional editing also, but to me it's a little bit more finicky. So however you want to do it, get the cable in position. And then hide the other cable that I have going here. All right, so there it is. Basically, there's the cable, right? So again, if I wanted to add a little bit more points in between these guys, select the two, right click, subdivide, and it adds a point in between there. GZ this down so it's on the surface. Now these two guys need to be pulled up, GZ. It's just this constant yin yang back and forth, right? To get your cable to where you want it. Take these two guys, GZ, and all right, so boom, there's my cable. And then once your cable is ready and in its final position, you want to go ahead and convert it to a mesh. Go to convert to, then go to mesh. And then I learned this from Ducky on how to basically switch into edit mode. This is where we're going to add. So when you go to shade it, click on this bottom edge here, Alt, hold that edge down, right click, mark it as seam, right? And then press A, select everything. Where is it at? Press U, unwrap. Okay, so when we go to put a material on this, it will be unwrapped and it'll be, proper. It'll look proper, okay? So that's a quick thing to do that right there. Boom. So that's how you make the cable. Now, what I typically do, I have this plugin. Let me go ahead and just delete that. I have this plugin called Cableator. Super easy. Check it out. I come over here. I go to draw cable. Take this pencil, draw out my cable, and then I press S. Scale it down, and now it went bonkers because of the size, right? So that's no big deal. Press escape to solid, and then I'll just delete it again. Then I'll come back in here, Cableator, draw cable, and then just come out here. It's because I'm working at such a small scale that it's getting kind of funky, right? But that's basically what I do. I literally come in here and just draw it in, and then press S. I can scale it down. Oh, you know what's going? It's getting crazy because of the lights. I know what's happening. Let me go ahead and delete that again. Because all of my lights, it's actually trying to put itself on top of the lights here. Let's try one more time. And let me hide my camera. All right, now we have a plain slate. Go to Cableator, draw cables. Okay, much better, worked better that time. Press S, scale my cable down. And basically that's it. Like that's all I have to do. Again, and then I come in my edit mode, same thing here, grab this back cable here because it got a little bit wonky, right? Kind of put that where I want it to be. And then again, just repeat that same process, except when I'm not working at such a tiny scale, it works out a lot better. The whole plugin just works, right? And then I can take this guy here, rotate him like that, G this up here, plug that into there, take these guys, go ahead and select these guys, GZ, bring them down, and just repeat that same process, right? You get the idea, but super more easier, way more effective, a lot more easier to manage, and just way quicker. So that's how I made the cable, right? Go ahead and delete that. All right, so there's my cable. And what I'm gonna also do, what I wanna do is, I wanna have some detail on my cable here, like a little bit of writing, like the power wattage on the, again, little details like that really help things set out, right? So what I'm gonna do is just one quickly, make sure I don't think I marked the seam on this one. This one has a cap on it too, so let me just go ahead and delete this cap. And then the same thing here, I'm gonna grab that, go into my edge mode. I'm gonna mark it seam, select all, U, unwrap. And then what I'm gonna do, now I'm gonna jump back into Photoshop and I'm gonna get a new file. Really doesn't matter the size, but we'll go 2K. And then all I wanna do is make a black background. And I'm gonna take my font here and I make sure it's white. We're using white font. And then I've got the font that I'm using. And I'm just gonna go, I've got a cable here that I'm using for an example. And I'm just literally gonna see what kind of numbers writing that are on the cable here. And I'm just gonna copy the stuff that's on here. PSP, don't ask me what that means. I think that's the type of plastic, like the company name. I'm gonna just go ahead and go ... I'm gonna go one polygon with me. And then I think it has the power outputage on it, 300 volts. Then we'll go 300 V, 0.75 millimeters. Then it has the year, I think, manufacturer. We'll go 2023. Okay, so this is basically everything that's on the cable. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so it all fits on. Ooh, that's actually probably exactly what I'm looking for. Let's go 72, just a little bit bigger. And this is what we're looking for. That's pretty much it. Go ahead and center that up. I'm going to export this out as a PNG. And actually, no, I need to add just a little bit. Let's make a copy. I need to add a little bit of blur on it because the edges are going to be super harsh. So I add a little bit of Gnosis blur, whatever, however you pronounce that. Go to blur, convert to a smart object. That's okay. I convert it to a smart object. And just ever so slightly, just a little bit of blur on there. You can see it's not a lot, just a little bit to take that edge off, right? And now we're going to go ahead and export it as a PNG, or it doesn't even have to be a PNG. I can leave it as a Photoshop file. All right, now we jump back over here, and then now we're going to the shading. I'm going to zoom in here on my cable, and I'm going to already have a cable here. Black. It's basically just black material, nothing special. GGX is turned on. I'm going to go ahead and bring in an RGB image, pump that into the albedo just so we can see it first. Go ahead and open up that Photoshop file. All right, let's fire up the render. What happened to our lighting? Oh, we turned off the lighting. Let's go ahead and bring that all back. There's my lighting. There's my cable. And then what I want to do on my cable here, projection. And we're not seeing it, so we might need to make it smaller. First of all, let's see. Let's go ahead and scroll this down. There it is, right there. And we can see it's not facing the right direction. So what I'm going to do is just rotate it. Let's figure it out. 90. Nope, didn't do anything. 0. Let's go to this next one. 90. Nope, didn't do anything either. Oh, I know why. Because we need to go into the properties. Actually, we should be able to do it from here. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn that to 90. And now I don't see it at all. So that means we got to figure it out. And this is why I say it just takes a lot of work to get these materials right. Okay, now I don't see it. So let me go actually set that back to 0. Set this to 0.5. There it is. One thing we do need to change this to clip black, and clip black. Set both of that so it only won't repeat. But in this case, I think I do want it to repeat because it is repeating on the cable. So let me actually go ahead and set that back to default. Now what I'm going to do is jump over to the UV editor. Also load in that image. We scroll here, we can go to, where's it at? Photoshop cable, power cable. And there it is. Go ahead and select all of these, rotate them 90, G, and just kind of place this over like that. Let's see what's happening here. That's exactly what we want. Now we just play with the size here. Let's go ahead and bring the size down. And to me, it's repeating a little bit too much. So what I think I can do, maybe increase the spacing between them. No, that's scaling it up. Actually, what I need to do is go back to the UV editor to increase the spacing by scaling the UVs up a little bit. And let's come over here to the UVs and press scale. Zoom in, actually zoom down. Let me scale X, and that's adding more. Scale in. Okay, there it is. Scaling in is adding less. Now you could leave this like that if you really wanted to show it off, but I'm going for more of a real light, and it's actually black and it's embossed, right? So what we do is we just use this here so we can see it, and then we'll go ahead and then plug this into the bump. And then while I'm at it, I'm also going to add in just a little bit of a roughness map so we don't have it perfect. Go ahead, Shift D, duplicate that. I'm going to bring in an imperfection map. There's lots of imperfection maps you can find on the interweb. Definitely take a look at that. I got a couple of smudge ones that I like to use here. Actually, I'm going to go with the grunge on this one here. Bring that in, add that in to my roughness there. And then I'm going to also add in a gradient map to control that. And then we've got that, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. And I'm gonna go ahead and solo this. Black is glossy, white is diffuse. So I could invert this here, something like that. I think that might work out well. And let's see what that looks like. I think it's true pure black in real life. So I like to take the black levels and just bump them up a little bit. And the same with the white. Nothing is pure white in real life. So let's go ahead and bring that down a little bit more, something gray. And the cable's still looking a little bit too shiny for my liking. So I'm going to kind of crunch the values a little bit there. And I'm going to lighten up this black here. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit more to more of a gray. I'm looking at a cable here. I got a cable right next to me. It's best to always have something with you so you can work at reference and see what it's really looking like, the way it affects the light. I like that better. And then now we can even see a little bit of our indentation happening on the cable right here. You can kind of see it just a little bit. It's small, minute little things that might not even get noticed, but hey, it's all these little 1% that add up to making it look really cool.